Want to get started?
Yes.
Well, thank you all you all set? Thank you all very much for coming. This is very, very exciting to us. As you know, we believe, Andres and I, State Senator Ayala, that we need to have private partners as well as public partners in order to achieve our social goals of giving people decent homes and giving them the support of housing and giving them the attributes of a great life in the city of Bridgeport. And Andres and I have been working together very hard on many efforts. We recently demolished with our own two hands about 150,000 square feet of old industrial building on Barnum Avenue, and we got to get back to this. We can't stay long. We've got to get back and get our sledgehammers out. But this is very, very exciting to see this kind of a partnership between the legislature, local government, and private business, where we can create a structure of tax credits that will result in major gifts that help us get brick and mortar into, don't stand so far over here, come on. Help us get major gifts into brick and mortar in the city. And one of the things I want everyone to know that's in this room and beyond is that despite one of the worst economies we've ever had, because of the cooperative efforts of leaders in the city, both in the not-for-profit, the private, and the public arena, working together with more harmony than we've ever had, I think, in the past, we've been able to avert a lot of the downturn in this economy. Your building on State Street went up in the worst economy ever, and it's about 65% done, right? The Alpha project next to Cesar Batalla School went up in the worst economy ever. We never said die, we never gave up, we kept finding ways of doing things. And this tax credit is just one other example of how public and private can work together to help organizations in Bridgeport to survive. And we've been working with all of you before, but this is helping us in a tremendous way. We want to say thank you to Northeast Utilities, because especially now your new corporate entity, which is most of New England, gives you a great footprint. You're a great green company, which is important to us. And I want to let everybody that's watching this know that there's 5 organizations in Bridgeport that are serving people of need, that are improving our economic development in the city, and we couldn't do it without you. So I know we're going to want to call each group up, and maybe we can talk about each group at the time, but I want to give Andres a chance to talk about how important the legislature was to this effort. Andres?
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. I am extremely pleased to be standing here in support of handing out these checks. I mean, it's Christmas time. Tom gets to play Santa Claus. I mean, what a wonderful job. That's amazing. But I want to thank CLMP and the fine work that they've done to support Bridgeport organizations, Bridgeport projects, these projects that are going to provide housing to people who need them. Interestingly enough, about a week or so ago, had the opportunity to meet with a couple of nonprofits that are working together, and their goal is to end homelessness. And they're telling me that across the state of Connecticut, homelessness has risen. The numbers have risen across the state of Connecticut, but here in Bridgeport, we're getting the job done. We've actually seen a decline in homelessness in the city of Bridgeport because so many nonprofits are coming together, cooperating, working collaboratively. That's one of the things that up at the Capitol we're asking people to do. We don't have the funds. The funds don't go far enough to really meet all of the needs that we have to meet. But when these organizations all come together to fight and combat homelessness, that's how we see the gains. And I'm excited to be here working with the 5 agencies that are going to be receiving the checks today, and to kind of give them a pat on the back and say thank you, job well done, and to encourage them to continue, because obviously we still need more. Our residents, our constituents still need affordable housing, and we're working on that. And we have great teamwork along with the administration, the folks up at the Capitol, the Bridgeport delegation, working hand in hand to ensure that we're meeting the needs, that we're identifying the priorities for the city of Bridgeport, and then working to bring the dollars back to meet those needs. So I want to say thank you to everyone who's involved, to the organizations getting the checks and putting that money to use. Thank you for the work that you do day in and day out. Glad to have all of you working in our great city. Thank you.
And now we're going to hear from the great band leader, Tom Dorsey.
AKA Sam.
Thank you, thank you. You're dating yourself. I'm really happy to be here. One of the things CLMP believes in Northeast Utilities is strong communities. And Bridgeport, I can tell you, every time I come down here, I'm more and more impressed. The legislature created this program and funded it. But more importantly, the nonprofits in the state, especially the 5 organizations that are here today, they have demonstrated that they can actually deliver on their projects. And that's a very important thing. The legislature and the taxpayers of the state want to know that things are working. And we're proud to partner with the 5 agencies today. We're giving out $1.7 million. This morning I went up to New Haven, we gave out $2.6 million. Overall, we're going to give out $9.1 million to 22 different nonprofits. It's going to make a difference. It's a great economic development tool. Housing is so vitally important to job growth in this state, and we are just proud to be here with the mayor, a great senator, and some great organizations. So thank you very much.
And we're going to pass the checks out. Lisette, a Bridgeport native, is here to help. We're glad we have a ringer inside of the Northeast Utilities corporate hierarchy. Just a word about Bridgeport Neighborhood Trust. They're the first one to come up and get their check. And let me just say, maybe they're first among equals today, because just half a block from here, one of the most beautiful, one of the greenest apartment buildings in the state is going up. It looks stunning. It looks like it almost belongs on the Yale campus. It's beautiful. It's a great addition to your streetscape with the Y being kitty corner to the building. And we couldn't be prouder of Bridgeport Neighborhood Trust and the building that you're putting up. It's just beautiful. And we know that it's going to be a great, safe place for people to live. And as we get away from the project mentality, where we would warehouse poor people in vast tracts of inferior housing, we're now giving people dignity in smaller buildings, in socially mixed environments, and racially and income mixed environments, which is really the way it should be. And you're leading that. And we couldn't be prouder of Bridgeport Neighborhood Trust. Come on up and get your check from the Northeast Utilities. Would you like to say a few words?
Okay.
You're never at a loss.
So, Tom, you know, you stood here at this podium and you were very modest and humble about how important this money has been to those of us here in Bridgeport. The state awards $10 million every year. And if you remember his comment, CLMP invested $9.1 million of that $10 million. And had it not been for you stepping up, you know, many of our projects would not be going forward. So I just really, really want to thank you for this year's contribution, but also the last couple of years. You know, when I couldn't find an investor, I called Tom, and Tom would be like, you know, we'll do it for you, but shh, he would go. And this year, he sort of, you know, it blew up. So I can't thank you so much.
Someday I'll say no, but
yeah, he says that every year, so thank you so much. You helped support that project that the mayor was talking about, investing, you know, $200,000 in that project, which is a high-profile project in our downtown. In addition to the housing, you know, our offices are going to go into the ground floor space, so we're very excited about that. And you also supported our South End Community Building Initiative, which is part of a larger neighborhood stabilization project. So thank you very much.
thank you.
You know, you hear the word leverage all the time, right? But this 1.7 million is going to leverage far more than that in its totality, and it's hundreds of thousands of square foot of housing in Bridgeport either built or stabilized because of this money. That's leveraged far beyond the 1.7 million. So the next group is a group that is very dear to all of our hearts. They have built new homes for probably 700 or 800 people, maybe 1,000 people in their history in Bridgeport. They create communities when they build their homes. They don't just build homes, because the homeowners are trained, and then they go into a block and they help turn around a neighborhood with some of the most stable families, some of the most stable properties in a neighborhood, and we just see the transformation all the time. In addition to that, they are a major taxpayer to the city of Bridgeport. They pay over $500,000 in taxes to the city through each individual home being privately owned. So it's near and dear to my heart when I'm trying to balance the budget. But it is also incredibly spiritually uplifting to the city of Bridgeport to have such a good and decent organization as Habitat helping to build not only the families that live in the home and give them a decent place, but to build communities by sewing together all those families. Couldn't be prouder to see Habitat for Humanity. Come on up, Bruce, get your help.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Bill. Well, Bill, first of all, thank you very, very much for the kind words. And Tom and Northeast Utilities, we couldn't possibly be more appreciative of all of the support that you've given really the low-income, hardworking families in Bridgeport. It's made just an incalculable difference, for all of them. And as with Liz, I mean, this isn't the first year you've done it, okay? This is, for us, the third year running. And we really, really appreciate it. It makes such a difference. Again, thank you so much.
Thanks, Habitat. And one of the things that Andres and I work very closely on, because many of the homes are in the east side of Bridgeport, which is well, I guess we have to say it's our favorite neighborhood. It's our sweet spot, because the east side is where I started working as a community organizer many years ago, and many of us met there for the first time. The east side is really ground zero for Habitat.
Absolutely.
And it's just made such an incredible transformation there. We really want to thank you. Now, the next one, I said first among equals. If you live in a neighborhood with a blighted property that's been blighted for 40 years, 30 years, been empty, had no way of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel for this property. No one ever thought that this could be housing again. It didn't have a lot of parking, which we don't really care about. We're not interested in places with giant parking lots. We're interested in good, decent, transit-oriented development. And this is right down the street from my house. It's been gnawing at me, and I know Andres, for many, many years. And I can't believe we're finally getting something done with this property, because it was a cause for police and fire. It was a cause for unsightliness and blight. Chris, how many blight fines on that building?
Hundreds of dollars.
Right. And we'll write it.
Probably as much as the check.
Well, we'll make them a deal. It's just, we'll make them a deal, right, Chris? Yeah. It's just like our contribution of the city to Habitat, we give the land. And we're working on another batch of 10 properties. And it flies through the city council because people want to do this. They want to help their fellow man. But Boston Avenue Supportive Housing, Alpha, come on up, please. The YMCA, Coastal, Connecticut. Please tell us about this exciting project. I'll let you stand next to her.
Okay, perfect.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Carmen Colonna. I'm the Executive Director of Alpha Community Services. And as our Senator alluded to, we,
That's your
Alpha
senator.
Community Services, Mayor, we, Alpha Community Services, along with our partners, Operation Hope, New Haven Home Recovery, Supportive Housing Works, we here in the city of Bridgeport have been the only city that has decreased chronic homelessness by 41%. The only place in the state of Connecticut that has seen such a decline. All the other cities have seen an increase. And it is due to the work of every single one of the folks here in this room. I work closely with Liz. Liz, thank you for your hard work. And work closely with Habitat. Chris Rosario, thank you for your hard work. Mayor, thank you for everything that you do on behalf of our population. We operate the largest family emergency shelter in the state, are the largest providers of permanent supportive housing in the state of Connecticut. We hire social workers, master level social workers, to work with our population. Therefore, I am so thrilled. It is our first, but not the last. I'm sure the mayor can tell you that I do a lot of asking, but it is on behalf of our great community, the city of Bridgeport, and together we're going to end chronic homelessness in the state, and we're going to make sure that so many of our families and single individuals do not become chronic homeless, because we will build housing, sufficient housing, affordable housing for them to live in. Merry Christmas.
You know, really, there's a theme here, I think, if you think about it. We didn't look at homelessness as a terrible negative. We looked at it as an opportunity for economic development, which it has been. And just as you see our population increase and our housing starts increase and our economic investment increase, it's been as a result of our effort to stop and end homelessness. It's been directly related. You know, people talk about how bad 95 is. That's an opportunity for Bridgeport, because we're going to make our rail-centric real estate more valuable. So there are many things. It's the way you look at it. And we saw an empty building on the Mill Green, the original post road that Ben Franklin laid out, and we saw this terrible eyesore, and we made it into an economic positive rather than a negative. So it's all in how you look at these challenges. We as politicians get to go to this next place and always have a wonderful time. Seymour Hollander House is going to be getting $500,000, and we'd like them to come up and accept their check and to come on up, come on. You always take good care of us. We want to take good care. We want to get you on television. Come on, it's okay. Seymour Hollander House has lots of activity next door. The Jewish home is moving from Fairfield to Bridgeport, another big investment, and it's right next to the Seymour Hollander House.
I'm Margie Roston, the Executive Director of Greater Bridgeport Jewish Housing Corp. I'm here with my President, David Friel, my Vice President, Bob Blackman, and our Project Manager in the back, Frank Stellato. We have recently renovated through refinance, but there's still so much more work to do. Our building houses low-income seniors, 62 and older, many of whom are adept and able to get out and do their volunteer work, and some of whom never get out. So we try to create an ambiance where they feel comfortable at home, comfortable going out, and the building has aged. Buildings do not stay new forever. It's now 31 and a half years old, and when it was built with bathtubs. So among the other things that we'll be doing with this wonderful, wonderful donation is to change bathtubs into showers. We'll be upgrading the elevators. They've been good to us for 31 and a half years. So we're going to upgrade them. And there are other things we'll be doing to make the quality of life for our seniors excellent, because they are their last years, and our goal is to make them contributing citizens in the city of Bridgeport, and they are. But you are always invited to come see us, especially in the summer. We have lots of barbecues. Thank you.
Wonderful, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
And if you haven't been to Seymour Hollander House, you have to go visit. They always make you feel welcome, and the seniors there can ask you some very difficult questions, right, Andres?
Oh, absolutely. I said chairman of the Aging Commission.
That's right.
Committee, so.
Yeah. Mutual Housing Association, $100,000. Come on up and tell us about mutual housing.
Congratulations. Thank you.
We've been blessed many times with the support of Northeast Utilities. They've supported many of our houses, projects down in Stamford, and it's great to come back and have their support at our Maplewood initiative, where we're trying to rehab. Believe it or not, it's been 17 years the building's been in service, and they do get tired, and the building needs some renovations. This is going to go a long way in helping us accomplish that, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Now all the questions go to Andre. Any questions? All right, we're all set. Thank you all very much for coming.
Group shot.
Let's get a group shot. Yeah, good idea.